Hello, and thanks for stopping by. Today we're learning Cake by the Ocean by DNCE. This is Keyboard Solos with JP, where I teach accurate keyboard and piano parts learned by ear directly from the original recordings. The good news is that the song is actually very easy to play. The keyboard part is built around just 3 chords, but the groove and the sound are what really make it come alive. We'll learn the song first, and then if you'd like to get a little closer to the original recording, stick around until the end of the lesson and I'll show you the patch that I use. And remember, these lessons aren't meant to be learned in one sitting. Pause, rewind, and practice as much as you need. All right, let's make some music. So for this lesson, we're going to be using actually both keyboards, which is optional. You don't have to use 2. I'm going to show you both because I have both of them set up for this. The song itself is extremely easy. In the beginning, there's just drums and bass and some guitar, and the keyboards don't actually kick in until the chorus. Now, during the chorus, it's a very light keyboard in the background, but it's there, and it's 3 chords. So it's going to be the E minor, which is the E, G, B, to the D, D, F sharp, A, and C, C, E, G. That's it. Those are the 3 chords. E minor, D, and C. So the reason I have it set up on 2 keyboards for those is because I like to play an octave apart, and the bottom keyboard, sometimes I play it higher. Sometimes I play it lower, just depends. But if you play them both together and you do the E, D, C, and some people go back to the D and back up to the E, but I usually skip it. I usually just do the E, E, D, C. Okay, and it plays that during the choruses and pretty much on the parts where there's no keyboard playing. I mean, you can hear it on the song. If you listen to it, you have to learn the order of it, but it's mostly vocals, guitar, and bass. And then during the choruses, it's going to kick in with the E, D, C, and then all the way through the ending of it, there's some more choruses towards the end, and then when he says red velvet, confetti, whatever he's saying at the end of there, it's also doing this EDC progression, chord progression, E, D, C. Okay, so that's really it. That's it for as far as the notes go. Now on the patch that I use on the top keyboard, I will show you that I use a combination. These are pads. These are synth pads that I'm using, and it's combined the warm pad with the warm big pad, which is what is called on the Yamaha, and on the Motif series it would be called the warm pad, a big pad. And I've got those 2 layered on top of each other. So when you play it, you don't get an instant attack. It does kind of ease into the, if you hear that, it's not really punchy. It just eases into it slowly, and then it has a long sustain on it. So it eases in and fades out. When I let up, you can hear that lasts. You'll hear even more on the lower keyboard. Okay, so you can hear that, those pads, and most keyboards are going to have something like this. You just have to search for the sound. On the lower keyboard, this is since this is a Privia, my stage piano, I found a hex layer sound patch that sounds exactly like that. It's a pretty complicated patch. You can hear it modulating in the patch, and that's a lower version of it. And you can tell when I play it, this has a little bit more of a kick, a punch to it when I first start it, but when I let off, it's a long echo. Watch. See how it keeps playing? Watch. It just lingers on forever, so that when you start playing it, you get, and up high it'll sound the same. It's a very long sustain, and then when you start playing it, they bleed over into each other. So normally I'll play this, I will play this one up here normally, and I'll play the top keyboard a little bit lower. So when you do them together, it sounds like this. And when you're playing in a band, especially when you have other loud instruments around you, this really cuts through. So you'll be able to hear this above all the other instruments. Nothing else is really this high on the frequency level. So you're pretty much the only one that's going to be playing up that high, and it'll cut right through. People will be able to hear it nice and clean, crisp. You can hear that. So if you wanted the bass notes on that, I will show you that. It goes. Starts on the E, goes to the B, B flat, A, C, B, back to the E, and it just keeps repeating that. Okay, and if you want to play the melody, you can. Okay, you can figure out what. You can play it high if you want. So you can kind of figure out from there where the other notes go. If you really want to play the melody, that's up to you. I never do. When I'm playing in a band, I just play those 3 chords and that's it. All right, that's it for Cake by the Ocean by DNCE. I hope you found this lesson helpful. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It really helps the channel, and it lets me know that you'd like to see more tutorials like this. If you enjoyed this lesson, be sure to check out some of my other tutorials, including Dream On, Take On Me, New Rules, Uptown Funk, Don't Stop Believin', Superstition, and Let's Go Crazy. This is Keyboard Solos with JP, where I teach accurate keyboard and piano parts learned by ear directly from the original recordings. I'll see you in the next lesson, and keep practicing.